back to this brand new video, and as you can see, we're back for another round of the F1 2018 career mode. But to start things off, we're gonna start off with this classic event. So we'll be driving the 2010 Red Bull, and we'll be doing a pursuit. This is the pursuit challenge, so we're gonna be driving around Hockenheim. So yeah. Chasing down 5 cars within the space of 3 laps. So we're basically gonna have to fight our way through in a way. And as you can see, when we can move on the car ahead now, and now we're up into P4, and now chasing after the next car as quickly as we can. Now shifting to lap 2 now. We're chasing up the P3, and well, this Red Bull straight line speed, you would think it will be still faster than the McLaren. So we go down the inside into the kink, but then we switch back to the inside for the next corner so that we secure the move. And that's us up into P3. Then now shift swiftly over to chasing right behind P2 now, the Ferrari. I'm not sure what year of car that is, but it is still a Ferrari. Get very close to the Ferrari there, nearly smashing into him, but pushing him through the final corner, and now it's Ferrari versus Renault power. And well, the Ferrari still got decent strength and speed, but we slip it down the inside, and the Red Bull obviously has much better downforce. So now the final lap, final few corners. Can we get P1 of Quesada, but we just dive it down the inside of Quesada, and now coming around the final corner, we greet the checkered flag, and we successfully pass the challenge. So yeah, it was a good effort. Now we jump swiftly into the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. So now this is the practice. But as you can see on the screen, we are 4 points behind Valtteri Bottas in the championship. Sebastian Vettel 26 points behind us. So we got a decent buffer against Vettel, but Bottas still quite ahead of us. Well, 4 points ahead of us in the championship. We pretty much passed all the practice programs. Yeah, pretty much everything. Apart from the team objectives, we didn't get one, but that's pretty much it. And then now here's Dr. Claire.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective. Things were close between you and your rival, but it looks like you're coming
this
up
one
top,
was obviously, I think I'm going to go for a second one because I think that was the best option. Well,
you scraped the walls a few times. Were you
this
struggling
one,
for grip?
I think this one I answered, that one, and that, as you can see, our rep within McLaren has been decreased, so unfortunately. So that's not good for us. But here is the total points that we would be gaining, total resource points that we'll be gaining after all the programs are done. So now we have a grand total of 878 resource points to spend. So let's see if we're going to spend some of those points. Reputation within other teams are quite decent as well, so now Emma giving us some news about the race, as well as Jeff. And yeah, here we go straight into the R&D section, R&D tree, and we're going to purchase this durability upgrade to our ICE, internal combustion engine, so that it helps us out in a way. But other than that, we're jumping straight into qualifying.
Welcome to qualifying in the Republic of Azerbaijan. The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green, and the fight for pole position can get underway.
So immediately trying to get in a bank lap, and we are on the super soft tires. So we're choosing the harder compound so that we can just get a gauge on what our pace is like in a way, because you don't want to use up your fresh set of tires too early in the race. So breaking into turn number 4, I believe, and then shifting up the gears. Got Alonso pretty close behind us as well, so I think we are technically giving him like some sort of tow. So, but hopefully we don't compromise our round too much as well as his, because we want to try and help the team as much as we can. But now coming through the castle section now, the car is a bit unstable in this section, I must say. So we're gonna feel a bit, we're gonna struggle. In general, this circuit is a bit, it's not the best circuit for me, to be honest, because those tight circuits are not my strong point. So places like Monaco, Canada, Singapore, races that are almost street races, really, they don't suit me all that much. So, but enough of that. We're gonna come across the line soon. Alonso is just pulling on our slipstream, and coming across the line now. What are we gonna set? We set 142 flat, so that puts us up into P5. So it's not really a good lap, but as per usual, it's a bank lap. So here at the end of our second run, this will be, and we are 1 second up on our delta time. So this will be roughly around the 41 flats, and yep, there we go. But that only puts us up into P16. So we're gonna have to do way better than that. But with 1 minute of the session remaining, we are now right behind, in the tow of Sebastian Vettel. So I played this a bit tactically, trying to risk it in a way, trying to get slipstream down that main straight when we come to the end of our lap. But even now, still in this straight, we're gaining quite some time gaining time on our delta. So coming to the corners, we attacked that corner perfectly, and that gave us massive amount of time. And coming around to this corner, we're just trying to stick behind Vettel, but not too close, or else the dirty air will definitely affect us. And trying to turn the car as perfectly as we can, so that we don't mess up the lap. Heading towards the castle section now. Yeah, we gain a lot of time at that braking zone, and into the castle section we are still gaining quite a lot of time. So Vettel, his tow is definitely helping us a lot. Even though we lose the back end, we're still gaining time. So Vettel really helping us out in many favors here. Coming around the final few corners, the final sector now, and this is where we should be gaining the most time by staying behind Vettel. So let's see how much time we can gain by the end of this lap. Staying in the slipstream, we're almost a second up on our delta. So if we really can set this lap, which we hopefully will do, and where would this lap put us in? I didn't see the time, but yep, Jeff saying good work, and we are now in P5 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So we are starting P5 for this Grand Prix. This will be probably the best qualifying we've ever got in this career mode, and well, we're 7/10 off the pole time. So well, I'm not really too fussed about that, but well, at least we got a decent qualifying over our teammate this time. And so here are the extra resource points we gained from qualifying, and our driver reputation. Well, it can definitely go up from here, so that's good.
All right, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance.
Definitely. So that's what we're gonna do. Straight away, jump into the race.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. History with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Khan. As with all the drivers at this level, they have a lot of ambition. But Formula One's a daunting step up from any other series, so expectations are high right from the start.
And this is something that has ended the career of many a young driver, as that leap up to Formula One proves to be too much. But luckily in this case, I'd say they're doing a good, solid job, and the risk the team took in signing them is definitely starting to pay off.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Raikkonen, Khan and Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Perez and Daniel Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. Grosjean, Leclerc, Esteban Ocon and Magnussen. Gasly, Sainz, Sergei Sirotkin and Lance Stroll, Ericsson and Brendan Hartley rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So here we go for the race strategy. We are planning to do a one-stop like a lot of the times we are doing. So, yep, we're gonna be removing the final stint as you see, and we'll be doing the one-stop. If a safety car comes out, well, that will definitely help us out. So, but we're starting P5 on the grid. And no grid penalty this time to help us out, but P5 still a very good position for us to start on the grid. And
let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
Yep, and we hopefully don't go backwards from here. Hopefully we can at least stay positioned, because I'm not aiming much, because obviously because the cars ahead are the Mercedes and Ferraris, but we also got Verstappen to worry about, as the Red Bulls are. Don't count them out, because they're still the top 6 cars on the grid, fastest car on the grid. So
be patient.
hopefully we can do well. So 5 grid lights to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The lights go out and we are off for this race, and we got a decent start from Kimi Raikkonen, I should say, and we're going round the outside of him into turn 1, and that's us up into P4 very nicely indeed. So now we're chasing down behind Kimi Raikkonen, and see if we can, well, it's not Kimi Raikkonen, it's Vettel actually, and see if we can put the pressure on him, see if we can put him into a mistake or something, but I'm not expecting much, because Raikkonen will definitely be fast on the straight. We are gaining some time on the corners, definitely, so the chassis of the McLaren definitely is not bad, I must say, as well as the downforce. So the corners is where we have to make the most out of this car. As we get very close to the wall, losing the back end as well, Raikkonen is still just there. So we're going to have to minimize the mistakes that we're making, so that we don't allow Raikkonen to have a chance on us. But speaking about chances, Raikkonen is already in the slipstream, and look at that, without DRS, and the Ferrari engine is just powering its way down the straight. We tucked back into a slipstream, and now we're going back round the outside. Will we be able to outbrake him? Round the outside we go, and yes we do make the move stick on him, so it's a pretty good move from us, as well as Vettel making a move on Bottas, and Bottas has just dropped into P3 from the lead of this race. So unfortunate scenes for Bottas, but look at that, Raikkonen is still coming on the attack on us, and we are having to defend from him. But luckily we had we have decent straight line speed in a way, so we're able to regain him in the straight when we tuck back to his slipstream, going around the outside into turn 1 once again, and we still managed to out traction him in turn 1, so that's good. We are just still managing to stay behind Raikkonen, stay ahead I should say, of Raikkonen, and holding him up and killing his tires basically. And look at that, the gap to the front runners is pretty big, so that's the pace difference for you. But Brendan Hartley is unfortunately out of this race. But back to our fight, Raikkonen having a charge once again on the end of lap 3.
Okay, decent energy harvesting. Reduce ERS deployment.
Yep.
Check your MFD for a new
We
strategy.
dive it down the inside of Raikkonen, and Raikkonen eventually has to stay behind.
Confirmed.
And Jeff recommended us a different strategy call, but we're sticking to our plan as per usual. So Raikkonen still sticking behind the slipstream. Will he go for the move on us? I wonder. Around the outside, he's going for it, but we hang it down the inside and just leave him enough room to get through the corner for both of us. So we are doing well to hold off Raikkonen, but yet again, and it's always the straight where Raikkonen just has the edge on us, and this is where I decided to just let him go, because there's not going to be any point fighting him. We're just losing time the more we fight him, and we're just going to let him go, do our own race. And
Fernando's in for his stop.
yep, our teammate is into the pits for his first pit stop. And yeah, we get the luxury of staying behind Raikkonen's slipstream as well as DRS. So hopefully he can drag us along the race. But Raikkonen has completely disappeared, and Verstappen might go for the move. Nope, he peels into the pits.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
And Jeff is calling us in by the end of this lap. Well, that's our recommended pit window. So lap 6 will be the lap we pit in, but I think we are going to go against that. And look at that, Hamilton is now on the attack, and well, we just let him by basically, because we're not putting much of a fight. We're not fighting him in the race. So lap 6 we're coming in for our final one and only stop for soft compound tires going to the end of this race, providing that there aren't any safety cars in the way. So, but now we're coming out of the pit lane, and yeah, I think we're going to come out just ahead of our teammate Alonso. Yeah, there is Alonso, so we're now just ahead of him, locking up into turn 2, but that'll be due to cold tires. But Alonso, well, still, he's coming at us in the straight. So lap 7, we lock up into turn number 3, but we're just hanging on to Alonso at the moment. I'm not sure what to do actually, because as you can see, Alonso now trying to make a move on this, but we'll put it down to none, and we basically let him go so that we don't hamper his race too much, and trying to do our race, because we are definitely on a different strategy from what it looks like. So yeah, Alonso just pulling away now. Well, he's on much fresher tires, and as you can see, Alonso now, look at the straight line speed difference in terms of setup. Alonso, we just gained so much time on him on the straights, and Alonso, I think, is having a hard time trying to catch up. Well, not catch up, hold on the straights, because well, this McLaren obviously doesn't have the best straight line speed. It's a pretty draggy car, that's why the aero bit of the car is very good. But now we lost a bit of ground to Alonso, so that's a bit unfortunate, because we could have used the DRS. But in saying that, we're now 5/10 faster than our personal best, even not staying behind Alonso. So lap 11 now, Alonso having to be stuck behind some traffic, and now we are swiftly going to pass him round the outside, and that's where we officially left him for chips, basically. And now we're going to focus on Ricardo. Some of the guys have come in for their stop already, so that promotes us up into P12, and Ricardo will be the next car ahead that we are trying to overtake. But
no overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
yep, as we were saying, we're trying to overtake Ricardo, but then the safety car has now come out for this Grand Prix. So yet again, safety car has come out in the 4th time of the career mode. So yeah, we're scrolling through the replays, trying to see what is can we see if we can find anybody that's gone out, but unfortunately we can't find anyone that's having issues at the moment that triggers the safety car. So yeah, so lap 12, everybody will be diving into the pits, obviously, because you get a free pit stop during the safety car period.
Fernando is in the pits.
And myself and Fernando both opting to go in for the double stack, so both of us taking this opportunity to get some fresh tires, but unfortunately Fernando is gonna have to stay behind for now. And to make things worse, we get stuck behind cars that are coming out of the pit lane, so Alonso's gonna have to stay in there much longer than we have to. And well, that's how things work sometimes. So we're in P15.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tires are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the first safety car line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Right, so P15 and lap 14 now. So safety car will be coming into the pits by the end of this lap. We're now behind Hulkenberg, so hopefully we can make a move on him quickly, because we don't want to well, pretty much we don't want to stay behind him as long as we have behind Alonso, because that will just ruin our race pretty much. But we're getting ready for a restart, and it's green flag now, and we immediately stuck in the slipstream of Hulkenberg, pull to the inside. Will we outbrake him into turn 1? Yes, we do. Outbrake him massively into turn 1. We just tapped Ocon for good measure, and we made a triple overtake into turn 1, and that's a very good move from us. And now we're up into P12, losing the back end slightly, but all good. And Ericsson will be the next car ahead of us. So Ocon having to make a move on the car ahead. Can he make the move stick? And that's Verstappen actually, and Ocon has gone down the inside of Verstappen. And yep, speaking of going down the inside, we're going down the inside of Ericsson, and Ericsson well, eventually has the better traction over us, so we have to stick behind for now. But well, Ocon doing very well to overtake Verstappen for P10, I want to say, no, P9. So yeah, good restart from Ocon. As we head to the castle section now, Ericsson is still holding on to him, but onto the straight now, the motorway, and we're just trying to gain as much speed as we can. Renault versus Ferrari engine. Well, the Ferrari's engine's putting up very well, but we still dive it down the inside of Ericsson. Now Verstappen, Renault v Renault power, and we dive it down the inside of Verstappen, squeeze him out into turn 1, nearly smashing into Ocon, but all is fine. And Ocon still doing well to hold on into P8. As at the end of lap 18, Verstappen is going for the move on us again, as he's got a pretty much better run over us, and plus he has DRS. So are we going to make it round the outside like we did on Kimi Räikkönen twice? And we do make the move stick round the outside. Pretty good move once again. And turn 1 is proving that that we can make a lot of moves on it, on quite a few of the guys here. So Ocon has successfully made a move on Stroll, and now we're just gonna follow him through down the straight. Now we got a much better run over than Stroll, so Stroll will tuck into the inside. We're going around the outside now, and yeah, that's gonna be an easy move up into P8. And we're having to save some ERS deployment as well. Speaking of overtaking so many people, Ocon is now having a move on Raikkonen. Raikkonen has no DRS, but we have DRS plus ERS going down the inside of him into turn 1. Will he make it stick? Yes, we do. So turn 1 once again proving that it's not a hard issue for us for a pass. And Ocon now is still well, as you can see, Ocon is struggling a bit in the corner, so that's where we're gaining time on him. So onto the straight, that will obviously be the best chance for us to make a move, but we're gonna have to get a good exit around this corner right here. So
0.6 seconds.
Let's see, lap 21, the end of lap 21. Can we make a move on Esteban Ocon? We have the ERS and the fuel as well as the RS, so yeah, we haven't even activated the DRS and we're already passing him down the straight. So that's pretty well, it's not done yet. Ocon might still go down the inside. We outbrake Ocon into turn 1, squeeze him into the barriers a bit, but so far, well, that was a good, okay move, I guess. Fair
Okay,
enough.
the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Well, with another 3 laps to go or so, another safety car has come out for this race. So I don't know what's the deal with the safety car, because again, I can't pull out the replays to see why the safety car has come out, but at the end of it, we are gonna go straight into the restart of this race,
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
and we are gonna have a straight charge on the cars ahead. So green flag will be showing soon, and there we go, the green flag is out, and Leclerc, we're attacking him into turn 1 now, down the inside into turn 1. We squeeze Grosjean a bit. Well, Grosjean technically squeezed this into the barriers, but we still managed to make it through. Grosjean's still there. We hang him out to dry into the next corner, and with only 2 laps to go, let's see if we can do anything about that, because Magnussen is quite some way ahead of us now. So I'm not sure we can do anything about it. Lap 25, end of lap 25, lap 26 now. It's the final lap of the race. Can we do anything to overtake Magnussen? Hopefully. Well, I'm not sure we can overtake him, because look at the gap. It's pretty massive to Ocon. Well, Ocon Magnussen, I can't speak, as there's so much action going on. But down the straight, look at that, Ferrari engine versus our engine, and yeah, that's the straight line speed difference for you.
Target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
But at the end of the day, Magnussen manages to hang on. Lewis Hamilton has won this race,
All right, race
and
over. Take care of the car
yeah,
on the
now
way in.
we're coming round. We finished in P4 of the Grand Prix, so well, it's an okay result nonetheless.
That's
at
it for
least
another
we
Grand Prix and a fantastic win
gain
for
some
Mercedes.
time on well, not gain some time, we gain a position basically on
Just what set them
our
apart from the competition here.
on
Well,
our
the safety
compared our
car
starting
completely
grid.
changed the
So
race, didn't it?
but good job
It's
to
hard to say
Magnussen as
exactly
well
what
for getting
would
the
have happened
podium.
without it, but
It
there's
might be
no
luck, but
question that
still
they
he
have
managed
that
to hold
situation
on
in good
to
position.
the
So as I
podium.
say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Khan takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Well, he had a great drive today, somewhat unexpected maybe, but I'm going to go for Kevin Magnussen. Quick, clean, and in control. It was everything you could ask for.
On to the constructors then. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
So we have now taken the lead of the Drivers' Championship after Valtteri Bottas having a poor weekend. So unfortunate for him, but good for us as we're now leading by 8 points in the championship. So
Amazing performance out there. You must be
yeah,
really
now
happy.
let's talk to Claire, I guess.
First in the championship. How does that feel?
Well, we're obviously going to go for the first one because I'm not really a showmanship type. So
It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
and this one we're going to go for the second option, the below one. Or no, never mind. We're going for the third option.
You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip or did you just misjudge some corners?
We went for the third option
Appreciate your time.
so that our chassis department will get noticed of that. Even though we are doing well, I wanted to say powertrain, but there's no option for that. But the rivalry was still doing good, and well, in terms of Verstappen as well, we're still smashing him. So these are all the resource points we gain from this race. Overall, we got a good haul of resource points, and we pass the practice programs, and we get an additional 400 points. So that's good. Right. So now
Great
we
work.
can.
That's exactly the kind of result.
Now
I'm
we
looking
can
for. Keep it up.
renegotiate our contract with the team. So as you can see, we're gonna start our contract, and at
It's
first
time
I
for
didn't really
negotiation
understand how
Here
it
you
worked.
can see the
So
current deal. Once
we're
negotiations begin, the team will make an offer.
as you
You
see
can
in a
accept if
short
you
while,
like, but I strongly suggest
we're
we push for
gonna
better terms.
we put everything to the max. Basically everything to max. At first I didn't understand this, so we just proposed the contract, and I came to realize that we have to be the contract has to be below the value within
They
the
aren't coming
team.
round to that proposal. Let's try something else.
So we tried the second option, and now we come to this final one, and the contract
Our
has
proposal's
been approved. So
accepted. The new contract will take effect from the next race weekend.
yep, we're still staying in McLaren, so we're gonna spend some upgrades as well, our resource points, and we're gonna spend it on our aero package as well. So 2 upgrades coming in on the way for the next few races, and yeah, Spain, Monaco. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Until the next video that will be coming out hopefully shortly. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.